Life is a succession of problems. So the key is to learn to prioritize them, and be clear about the problems with which you are going to be indifferent. This may sound simple enough, although it is really complex to put it into practice. And even more so if, like many people, you define what is important to you based on what is important to others. For example, you have probably met many people who worry and generate stress in their lives because they have to go to a university and get a professional degree, since that is what the other people around them expect from them. However, what they really want is to pursue another path, such as fulfilling another dream, starting a business, being an artist, or simply waiting a while and living experiences before choosing a career path. For this, we must first learn to focus on things that are more important than adversity itself. The book describes it as a hellish feedback loop, whereas you feel stress, you feel anxious about feeling stress, which generates more stress, and you form a negative feedback loop. You should avoid this by always seeking to put your focus on the root of the problem and not on the problem itself. Second, don't give importance to things that don't really matter, at least for us. This means being able to become comfortable with being indifferent about something. We are always going to worry and attend to problems, so choose well. Prioritize what you are going to worry about. Third, be clear about what your values are. The book proposes the concept of values to define how you measure success. For example, some people measure success based on having accessories and luxury items, while others measure it based on having savings and investment. Therefore, they have different values. In today's world, where by any means in an instant we can see everything that others have, the apparent happiness, the cars, the trips, the fun, and everything that we think we lack, Manson tries to help us on how to live a better life. He says the key to a good life is not to worry about so many things every day, and worry about how many things we worry about, but rather that we worry only about the things that align with our personal values, only about what is true, immediate, and important. Conventional self-help advice tells you to visualize success and think about the kind of person you want to be, but that only reinforces the idea that you are not that thing. That ultimately leads to an unhappy or unfulfilled existence, where happiness is always just out of reach. The desire for a more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of a negative experience of oneself is itself a positive experience. As described by the author, The Art of Not Giving a F works the other way around. If pursuing the positive is negative, then pursuing the negative generates the positive. For example, the pain you pursue in the gym results in better health and energy. Everything worthwhile in life is gained by overcoming the negative experience that is associated with it. Any attempt to silence it will eventually fail. Avoiding suffering is a form of suffering. Avoiding struggle is a struggle. Just as refusing to fail is a failure. Everyone has their own concept of what it means to be happy. This book is not a guide on how to be happier. It is a guide on how to suffer better. We must be comfortable with the idea that suffering is inevitable. No matter what you do for a lifetime, you will encounter challenges, failures, losses, and regrets. We know this from experience, but we must learn to dance with that suffering, because feeling good about yourself, for no reason, will actually do you more harm than good. Facing challenges is necessary for personal development, and suffering is inevitable. We should not look for a way to stop suffering. We should ask ourselves, why am I suffering? For what purpose am I suffering right now? Suffering for no purpose has no value. The moments when we don't care and only take action, those moments in a row, are the ones that most define the path of our lives. This part of resonated with me a lot. I like to think of myself as a person who is not afraid of failure. But when I consider something important, I overanalyze it. Not out of fear that it will turn out badly for me, but out of fear of doing something one way. If there are other possible ways, I know to do it better and in less time. As a result, my actions are slow or sometimes non-existent. The problem here is not my overanalysis. The problem is what I consider to be important, when I really shouldn't care. There is a premise that underlines many of our assumptions and beliefs. The premise is that happiness is algorithmic. It's something you can supposedly work towards achieving in the future, like getting accepted to law school or building a very complicated set of Legos. If I can achieve this, then I can be happy. If I see myself as that, then I can be happy. If I can be with a person like X, then I can be happy. This premise is the problem. Happiness is not an equation that can be solved. To have a good life, it is important to choose good values. Good values are internal, reality-based, socially constructive, immediate, and controllable. Bad values are external, superstitious, socially destructive, not immediate and not controllable. Honesty, curiosity, and vulnerability are some good values. Always being the center of attention, not being alone. Or being rich just for the sake of being rich. When we have poor values, we are essentially worrying about things that don't matter, that don't even make our lives worse. When we choose good values, we can care about better things, things that matter. After that, things like happiness, pleasure, and success come as side effects. Prioritizing better values leads to choosing better things to care about. When you choose better things to care about, you get better problems. And when you keep having better problems, you get to have a better life. We all have a finite amount of time on this planet, and it is impossible to worry about every situation during our time here. Life is made up of an endless series of problems, where every solution to one problem creates another problem. We all have problems. Even Warren Buffett has money problems. The drunken bum has money problems as well. The difference is that Warren Buffett has better money problems than the homeless. And that's life. The reality is that we can't change our problems, but we can change how we think about them. Our problems give meaning and importance to our lives. So we have to make the decision to choose which problems we will give our attention to. Happiness, my friends, comes from solving our problems. The key word is solve. To be happy, we need something to solve. Therefore, happiness is an activity. It is not something you discover from a guru. It does not magically appear. When you finally have enough money to add that new room to your house, you don't find it waiting for you somewhere, in an idea, job, or even a book. Happiness is a constant work in progress, because problems require work and a constant progress. True happiness occurs only when you have problems that you enjoy having and enjoy solving. Don't expect a life without problems, said the panda. There is no such thing. You better want to have a life full of good problems. To find out who Panda is, you'll have to read the book, or if instead of reading it, you prefer to listen to it. In the description, I'll leave a link to Audible. They are currently giving away 2 free audiobooks when you sign up for the trial version of the app. And that's all for today. I hope you liked the summary. If so, please give it a like and share it with someone you think might find it useful. Subscribe to the channel to see my next videos first. And remember, smart work is the key to success.